All right, I'm here. I'm here. Okay. I have my camera on. Had to check myself. Whew, it's been a day. Mr. Crowley, you are lucky. I like you, Mr. Mike Crowley. I'm tired. Unfortunately, I think we have misspelled his name, but that's okay. We still know who we're talking about. Is that the correct way? I'm not sure. We'll find out. Let me bring him up. Nope, that is correct. That is correct. I see it in his name. So I was incorrect. I was trying to put a W in there.
Hey, no problem. Everybody does that.
Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah,
I
thanks
had
for
to
inviting
sneak in
me.
dinner between the two lives. Um, but we glad to finally get you here. We've
Glad to be
been,
here.
been missing each other, trying to get you here, and so I hope you got a lot of good stuff to say.
Oh, absolutely. I'm
Absolutely.
endowed with the gift of gab, so it wouldn't be a
Okay.
problem.
All right. So again, welcome everyone for coming to the town hall that we're having tonight with Mr. Mike Crowley. He is running for Tennessee's is it the congressional district or state?
Congressional.
Okay. So Tennessee's Congressional District 6.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
he's trying to go to the Capitol, guys. Make sure I pulling my tablet up. So
No
yes,
problem.
we are we have another candidate that wants to go tackle the Capitol and all of the people up there who are sitting on their hands. I'm assuming
That's
he's
right.
not going to be one of those people. He's going to go get some things done, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah,
All
that's
right.
me.
So let me remind you and everyone else who we are. We are Our Vote Counts. Uh-oh, that's not right. Okay, be still. We are Our Vote Counts, a nonpartisan coalition of citizens from diverse states and backgrounds united by a shared commitment to empowering voters, promoting candidates of integrity, and those who stand for inclusion and accountability in these upcoming elections. Formed by a collective of educators, veterans, small business owners, students, and community advocates, Our Vote Count represents the strength of unity across geography, race, and ideology. While our stories are different, our mission is the same: to ensure that every voice is heard and every vote truly counts. Our vote count is more than just a name. It is a promise. It's a movement and a rallying cry for democracy. Together, we are shaping the future, one informed vote at a time. So again, I'd like to thank you all for coming in tonight. Make sure you are tapping that screen. You're sharing this live out. If you know someone from Tennessee, tell them to get on in here and check out Mr. Mike. He will probably have some good things they need to hear to be a representative for the state of Tennessee. So let me tell y'all a little bit about what I found out about Mike. Let's see. He grew up in Illinois and Kentucky, and then fell in love with Tennessee while at Vanderbilt. He married his wife Bethany in 2009 and is raising 3 young kids. He is a Navy veteran, a former federal employee, environmental engineer, and lifelong problem solver. Oh, we need you. We need you
That's
right
right.
away. Okay? He spent his life serving this country, from serving as a naval officer to managing public safety programs from the federal government, for the federal government. Most recently, he worked as a presidential management fellow at NOAA, where he helped lead climate-resistant efforts supported by community-centered science. Then, with a stroke of a pen, the program was shut down. His colleagues and him were left without a path forward, not because they failed, but because they refused to play political games. Our government, this is in the words of Mr. Mike Crowley, our government should not exist to benefit the powerful few. It should exist to serve families like mine and yours. That's a powerful statement there, Mr. Crowley.
Yes, ma'am.
I see you are going up against John Rose. Tell the people why they should be voting for you and booting this guy John Rose up out of here.
Right. So just to clarify, John Rose is the current congressman, but he's running for governor of Tennessee. So it's going to be an open seat. And as you'll be able to tell quickly, I'm not a polished politician. I'm a public servant. I don't speak for a living, but I was working for the federal government, like you mentioned. No, I was on a fellowship, and I was working for NOAA. And NOAA is the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. We handle the National Weather Service. Highly important work. And I was loving life as a public servant, federal employee. And then when President Trump took over, like I said, he ended it with the stroke of a pen, ended the entire fellowship. And just to think about this for a second, it was the Presidential Management Fellowship. It was his own fellowship that he terminated. And it was established in 1977. I mean, there's no reason for him to do this stuff. But anyhow, like I said,
it's as old as me.
That's right. Yeah, I just had my birthday Monday. I'm 47, so
I'm 49.
It's older than
That's what I was born in 77. This is as old
there
as
you go.
me.
Yeah,
that's old.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it had been around our whole lives, right?
Yes.
And just with an executive order, he just terminated it. When I needed help, I did what we're told to do. I called my representative, and this man never answered the phone. And I'm not saying that like hyperbole, like Trump talks, I mean, he never answered his phone. He never called me back. I left messages with his secretary and various people, but I never got a phone call back from my representative. So I decided, okay, I'm just going to take this in my own hands. If no one's going to help me, I'll do it myself. And so my last day with the federal government was April 19th of last year. So just a little over a year ago. And I've been campaigning actively to run for Congress since then. Never anything I imagined I would be doing, but I saw that need and I filled it. So here we are.
That's what we got to do. Now, this is a regular portion of our show. We have to see the dogs. We have to see the dogs. Okay. Hello,
So
boo-boo.
this is Gravy. He's an Aussie doodle. He's a
Not Gravy. Hi,
couple
Gravy.
weeks over. Yeah.
Gravy.
Come here, pup.
Gravy. Tonight you have to wait a few minutes, okay?
Come here, pup.
Oh,
And
goodness. He's a big one.
And then this is Biscuit. He is a hoss. Yeah, he's a standard poodle.
Hello, Biscuit. Oh, he looked like a little nice biscuit.
Yeah, so we have Biscuit and Gravy.
Biscuits and Gravy. I love it. I love it. We love the dogs. And we love the cute names. Biscuits. Yes, Biscuits and Gravy, y'all.
That's right. Yeah, that's what you get when you're in
Absolutely
Tennessee.
love it. Well, Tennessee's 6th congressional district is located in north central and middle
That's right.
Tennessee, stretching across the eastern suburbs of Nashville into many rural communities across Cumberland Plateau and surrounding regions. Now you got quite a few
It's
counties
19
there.
counties. Yeah,
Yes.
not all of them. So, Scott County and Warren County. Warren County, it looks like they were taking a Sharpie and it just bled over a little bit. It's maybe 1,500 people. It's not even a whole precinct. But in 2022, the state Republicans gerrymandered all of the congressional districts. So they split Nashville, Davidson County, into 3 pieces because it was a Democratic stronghold. So they figured they would just dilute it with these rural counties. But they didn't plan on this blue wave coming through. And what they did is they gave us a Democratic foothold in each one of these territories. So now I've got North Nashville as my territory. I also have Scott County, Tennessee, which is, when you think of rural Tennessee, that's what you imagine. It's beautiful, it's natural, but it's not Davidson County. And so the dichotomy there between all these districts is not something that's lost on me. I've been in all 19 of these counties.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I've met with people there because as your representative, I need to hear from you. I also, I'm vowing to hold monthly town halls.
Okay.
Every month. So either in person or virtually, whatever I need to do.
In each county?
In each county. It open for everybody. And lastly, I've got a website, Your Voice Tennessee 6. And what it will do is you'll prove that you're from the district with your zip code. And on there, you'll be able to see any legislation that's up for me to vote on in its original form. And then you'll see what it actually says in layman's terms, what's hidden in the bill, right? And then you'll say, hey, I think you should vote yes on this, or I think you should vote no on this. I want to hear from the folks. So that will be a direct way for people to relate what they want from their representative, which is what I was missing when I wanted to reach out to our representative.
Absolutely. Now, it's saying that your district is 52% rural and 48% urban.
That's right.
How are you, that is half and half. How are you going to address those two different polarizing issues or
Sure.
areas? Like, what the people need in the rural areas is not what they need in the urban areas. So that's going to take some work. Are you up for that challenge?
Absolutely, yeah. And like you mentioned, I went to Vanderbilt, so I know Davidson County. I went to Tennessee Tech, so I know Putnam County. That's Cookeville, and they're metropolitan. I was also a Tennessee State Park Ranger, so I literally blazed trail in these back countries. And I've eaten at every little market in every little county here. And they are different, but ultimately we all want the same thing. Republicans, Democrats, Independents. We all want to be safe and to be happy. And you can hear that pup.
Exactly. The puppy said, yeah.
Right. But I think we have different ways of getting there. One thing I'm going to do early is accept federal funds. Tennessee has been notorious about turning away federal funds.
Wow. Okay.
We didn't accept a Medicaid expansion that was free, that would have benefited everyone. But I think the reason they're hesitant to do that is because there's terms involved, right? And you have to meet certain criteria, DEI standards and whatnot. And on that note, I was a federal employee when the attack on DEI started. And I remember the email that we got, and I felt like I was taking crazy pills just reading it. I had to read it a couple times because essentially what it said is the government's been racist this whole time by dividing us and recognizing diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I thought, surely, this is a joke. This is a mistake. And it wasn't. And then they actively took DEI out of everything. Diversity, equity, equality, and inclusion. Like, how could you go against those? I mean, it's absurd to me.
We often ask, what part of that don't you like?
Right. Yeah. Right. Which of the three? Yeah. And, I heard some really good advice a long time ago, and that is, it doesn't have to make sense. Right? I mean, quit looking for logic in the Trump administration because you're not going to find it.
Absolutely.
If you look in the vein of he's a narcissist. He's going to do what narcissists do. Then you'll, then you'll see where he's at. But
that's about the only logic we could hold on
that's
to.
right. That's right. I know one thing. He's going to protect himself.
Exactly.
Yep.
All right. So, Mr. Crowley, as we do around here, we try to tackle about 5 topics. It's going to be about 2 or 3 questions each topic, and get your answers on those, depending on how long or short you answer, how much we could get asked. In between that, we're going to do 2 rapid fires, and see how quick you are on your feet with your answers.
Okay.
And then we'll tell the good people how they can support you, and then you can go feed the dogs. Okay?
Perfect. Perfect.
All right. So I'm going to remind everyone out there, if you have any questions for Mike, please request up or put your questions in the chat. And I will post those questions to him. Make sure y'all tapping that screen. Make sure you're sharing this out. Like I said, especially if you know someone in Tennessee, invite them on in here, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, our first topic is affordability. Okay. That seems to be the topic on everyone's list of things to fix in this country. Now, reliable, many families in your district say the cost of housing, groceries, and utilities keep rising faster than the wages. What specific policies would you support in Congress to make everyday life more affordable for working families in your district?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, this is personal for me. I have a 26-year-old son, and him and his wife live in the district, and they rent. And there's no way that they're going to be able to buy a house anytime soon. So affordability is a huge concern of mine. And I've got a pretty simple answer. We just tax the rich. We make them pay their fair share. And it sounds so simple because it is so simple. We end these tax loopholes where they can take advantage of unrealized gains, right? Or they have the way they do it is they take out loans, right? And then there's no tax on loans. So we just end these corporate loopholes, make the rich pay their fair share, make them pay the same amount that you and I would pay. And then these large corporations end those loopholes also. Amazon didn't pay anything in taxes last year. So that's an easy fix. Make these people pay their fair share. When we're talking about billionaires, right? Billionaires.
Yep.
Potentially trillions. And to give you an idea, $1 million, I mean, I would be content with $1 million.
Me
right?
too.
So if I said go back in time 1 million seconds ago, right? Just to give you an idea, that's like 8-9 days. If I said go back in time 1 billion seconds ago, that's 35 years. Okay, so it's to get to where you have $1 billion, you've had to step on some people's throats.
Yes.
You've had to see need and just dismiss it. So we
and all we're asking is for them 9 days out of them 35 years. That's all we're asking. Like if the billionaires paid $1 million into our system, how much could that help us?
That's right. That's right. They could end so many world hunger, world poverty, right? I mean, they could end it and not even blink.
Yeah.
But that's not where their priorities lie.
Absolutely. So but by taxing the billionaires, that will give more money for the government to work with. But where do you want this money to be spent?
Yeah, sure. So, and I'm a military veteran, so I know how big the federal defense budget is. We don't need near as much in the federal defense budget as we have. I would like to see this in cancer research, right? In hospitals, experimental treatments. That's where I want my tax dollars to go. I've lost people in my family due to cancer. I'm sure you have as well. And that affects everyone, regardless of race, regardless of class. That should be our priority, not fighting wars and overseas for imminent threats that have been around for longer than you and I have been alive.
Absolutely. Now you said like in hospitals, do you think that if they built a hospital in, let's say, in one of your rural districts, one of your rural counties,
Mm-hmm.
and the traffic in and out of that hospital isn't very high,
Mm.
should that hospital be closed due to it just isn't the demand isn't
Yeah.
meeting, or should a hospital be there just in case one person needs it?
Sure. Yeah, that's an excellent point. And we do have, that here in Tennessee. We, like you mentioned, we got very rural counties. What we have now is a medical desert. We don't have these hospitals. So, that analogy doesn't really work here. We could definitely use it. But to your point, I think I would rather have a hospital and have it minimally staffed than not have one at all, right? And that's good for the economy. It's good for folks moving in, and unfortunately, a lot of folks' primary care doctor is the emergency room, right? They don't regularly go to the doctor; they go to the ER. So yeah, I would think having one would be better. But that's a great question.
All right. Now, healthcare cost remains the biggest financial burdens for families. What steps would you take to reduce healthcare and prescription costs? Can't say the second word.
Right.
Prescription costs for residents in your district.
Yeah, I'm a big advocate for universal basic health care. We are the only developed nation on this planet that hasn't instituted some sort of universal basic health care. Israel, who we supplement, has universal basic health care. Canada, Mexico, Cuba, everywhere, right? When I was in the military, we had universal basic health care. That's not what we called it, but I didn't pay anything out of pocket. If I needed to go to the doctor, I went to the doctor. It would be absurd that I would pay. If I needed a prescription, I didn't pay for it. It was prescribed to me by a doctor. The fact that we have to go through an intermediary, insurance, right? I don't know anyone who's in love with their private medical insurance. I think everyone would be on board with universal basic health care. And, if you want to get a facelift or something like that, yeah, it's not going to cover that. You would have to pay that out of pocket. If you want to go to a specialist, it'd be similar to what we have, but your basic needs, preventative care, mental health, all of that. We have a serious mental health crisis in this country, and no one wants to admit it, because then we would need to look at our medical insurance industry. And, here in Tennessee, we recently passed legislation, one of the only things that we've done right in a while, to end pharmacy benefit managers operating at the same pharmacy.
Okay.
Which is like, I'm going to sell you something, I'm going to prescribe you something, and I'm going to tell you how much it costs. Right? Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the fact that we need a legislation to end that is kind of absurd, but here we are.
Absolutely. I just was talking about AOC example with Aetna that she did, where she basically said how Aetna's hands is in the pot of all the factions of the healthcare. I mean, they have doctors under them. They have medical centers under them. They have insurance under them. They have prescriptions under them, and you have to go through all of that. And they're winning all the way around.
Who makes that call? They do, right? Yeah. I mean, yeah, they got their hand in everybody's pocket, and it's absurd. A lot of these folks aren't even medical professionals, and they're denying services. So yeah, I mean, I think universal basic health care is one of the easiest ways that we can implement insurance.
Well, Ms. Raymack in the comments says, to implement universal health care, we must also make college and advanced degrees free. Do you agree with that?
I'm all for that. I am all for that. So here in Tennessee, we have something called Tennessee Promise. If you're a high school senior, your first 2 years of state school is paid for, and it's been highly successful. I mean, we can talk about student loans, then that whole fiasco. Anytime we are a profit center, we pay the price, right? So whether you're talking about student loans and advanced education or medical insurance, anytime we are the profit center, we are the ones who end up paying for it.
Yeah. So I guess if we're gonna relegate doctors to a certain income, then we can't boggle them down with all these student loans.
That's right. And I think that's Ray Mac's point. I mean, the doctors now in the current process, they come out and they're so in debt. So they have to make money. They have to do these surgeries, right? They have to do these prescriptions. They have an incentive to.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So again, I remind you, if you have any questions, you could put them in the chat or request up and ask them yourself. I love that better. We love audience engagement. This is your town hall. So you could ask the questions to the candidate. Make sure y'all tapping that screen too. Now, our next topic is about accessibility, and we're talking across the board. Okay. So the first one, reliable high-speed internet, has become essential for education, work, and healthcare. How would you work to ensure that every community in your district has affordable and accessible broadband?
Yeah, absolutely. This is relevant to me. When we moved to Cumberland County, we looked at 12 different houses. Ultimately, we picked the first house that we saw because it was the only one that had high-speed internet. And I never imagined a commodity like high-speed internet being a factor in where I live, the house that I chose to live in. But it was. My wife worked from home, and she needed high-speed internet. So that's what we end up doing. There was a huge grant program to install high-speed internet in rural counties, and we still have a lot of funding for that. The reality of the 6th Congressional District is Macon County is one of the counties in this district. Some folks don't even have running water. So to make broadband a priority seems a little bit absurd. But just like any utility, it's an essential necessity at this point. I mean, try to work somewhere.
Any county in the United States not have running water in 2026?
Yeah, it's nuts. I didn't believe it at first. I went to a town hall there, and they were talking about the water froze. And I said, "Oh, okay, like your pipe." She said, "No, coming up out of the mountain." And I said, "Okay, what about the pipe?" She said, "We don't have a pipe. That's where we get our water." And I said, oh, "Okay, maybe they're just old school." But no, it was a whole section of this county did not have running water. Yeah, in 2026. The fact that we're talking about that is absurd.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to make sure that, well, like you said, that wouldn't be your priority going in there, because your priority is making sure people got running water.
Yeah, but it is a priority, but it's not the main one at this point.
I got you. Now, access to education and job training can determine economic mobility. How would you ensure that students, veterans, and workers in your district have accessible pathways to higher education and workforce training?
Yeah, perfect. I've worked as a veteran service coordinator at Roane State Community College before I accepted my federal fellowship. So again, this is personal for me. I helped veterans use their GI Bill and their education benefits at Roane State, which is a community college here in Tennessee. But professional development is a big priority of mine. And you mentioned trade schools. I think we need to push trades way more than we currently are. And what we're seeing is a definite lack of skilled technicians to be in trades, and there's just not a pipeline for it. In Tennessee, we have a lot of technical schools, and we're doing very well with this. In fact, they just opened a new CDL school here in Crossville. So that's already a priority, but I would continue to make that much more of a priority than it currently is. And that includes the Department of Education, revamping that. I mean, it's again, we see where their loyalties lie by what programs they choose to gut. And one of the first things they did was attack the Department of Education, which again, it seems absurd that the Department of Education would be a partisan target, but here we are.
Yeah. Gravy agrees.
Yeah, he
It's a
does.
shame. Now, people with disabilities often face barriers to employment, housing, and public services. What steps would you take in Congress to strengthen accessibility protections and expand opportunity for people with disabilities? Because that is often overlooked in this whole DEI conversation. That is who it also affected when you decided to demolish it.
And it's the only minority group that someone can become a member of, right? You can become disabled. So it's the only minority group that anyone truly could become. I'm a disabled veteran. So again, this is personal for me. I know for me, mental health should have been a bigger priority. And it wasn't because of a lack of access and a stigma around asking for help. So disability. I mean, you nailed it when you said DEI, right? That's a part of that. Disability is a part of that, and it's it's crazy to me that that we need laws saying you can't discriminate against folks that are disabled. But again, here we are. I mean, that's a fact of this administration, anyhow. But I think I'm a big advocate for disability equality.
Okay, and how do we make sure that gets you add to it disabilities? How do we make sure that those issues are being addressed in Congress? As I said at the start of the show, that currently those the people who are there seem to be sitting on their hands. So what are you going to do differently when you get into Congress?
Yeah, absolutely. I think what we're missing is accountability and transparency. So I'm going to be very vocal and very transparent about what's going on. I'm probably not going to make that many friends in Washington, but everyone back home will know what the score is. And Chris Murphy is a senator. I think he's out of one of the Carolinas. He does an amazing job of explaining what's going on. And it takes an insider to do that type of work. So I think being transparent, being very vocal, and just being accessible to the people as much as possible.
Absolutely.
And call me out if I'm sitting on my hands. I demand my constituents call me out.
Yeah. So we're going to do our first rapid fire.
Okay.
And so, like I said, quick answers if you can.
Sure.
Term limits, yes or no?
Yes.
When it comes to most issues, are you compromising or standing firm?
Compromise.
All right. Are you, now I kind of already know the answer to this, but are you lowering taxes or raising taxes?
Lowering taxes.
And
and raise it. Yeah. Making sure the right people are taxed.
Correct. Yeah. Making sure the right people are taxed. Should there be more SCOTUS seats?
Oh, what a great question. Yes.
Okay. Would you get rid of the filibuster?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Do you think putting forth articles of impeachment in the 120th class would be effective?
Absolutely.
Okay. The biggest issue facing your community right now?
Lack of good paying jobs.
Okay, so we need more jobs. Okay. or more good paying jobs.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the first bill or policy that you would prioritize?
Oh, good question. That's a great one. I'm an environmental conservationist. Also, I was a state park ranger, so I unfortunately I don't have a good answer for this, but I would imagine it would have something to do with environmental conservation.
Okay. You've been given a bill. In this bill, it states that each district, everybody of districts across the United States will receive $10 million towards education. For you to use it in your state for educational purposes.
Sure.
However, also in this bill is the right to post the 10 Commandments in the school.
Okay.
Are you a yay or nay on that bill?
So is it one or the other? Well, no, I'm a yay.
It's in the bill together.
Yeah, I'm a yay. The money for education, excuse the phrase, trumps the 10 Commandments. I mean, if you need 10 Commandments to not be a terrible person, then let's put them in your school. And you can look at those anywhere, right? But I think it's worth it to have the money. And again, this is personal for me. My wife is a teacher's aide here in the district. So I know firsthand how underfunded, underpaid, not only teachers, but their assistants and principals and everybody, not to mention school infrastructure. So yeah, I would take that.
Okay. All right. Last question. One word to describe your leadership style.
One word. Okay. Empathetic.
Good word. I like that word.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. I think a leader, and the scariest thing a leader can do is not make a decision. Right. So even if it's the wrong decision, make a decision and stick with it. And when I say empathy, because I know the decision I make is going to impact someone else, and I want them to know that I've thought that through.
Good job. Now we have some questions in the chat. This says Tennessee 6th District. What would you do to counteract the fascist agenda?
Oh gosh, yeah, what a great question. So
I think he was being facetious, but okay.
You're right. Well, it's accurate. I mean, we have Christian nationalists buying property in 2 of the counties in this district, and the communities are trying to rally them against him. But there's a ton of fascism here, and we've fought many wars over this. You would think we've eradicated it by now, but right. I can't explain the rise in it, but there definitely is fascism here. And being in the South, we have some absurd views about things. And I think, again, it's accountability, it's education, and just being transparent with people. But yeah, the fascist agenda is a legitimate concern. So thank you for that question.
Okay. If you win this seat and lead Tennessee's majority, how would you fund back PBS?
Oh yeah, PBS, absolutely. I don't have a specific answer other than PBS is at my heart. I have 4 kids, and I grew up on PBS. They grew up on PBS. When we didn't have cable, when we didn't have internet, we could still get PBS over the air. So it's sort of an institution, right? With this country, it's something I value. So I would absolutely find funding for it.
Okay, great. Now, Ray Mack is talking about funding public schools and ending school vouchers. What is your opinion on the school vouchers?
Yeah, so here in Tennessee, we've got some shadiness going on with Tennessee school vouchers for private schools. There is zero need for school vouchers here in Tennessee. There's especially no need for more vouchers. They're trying to pass through we have a GOP supermajority in the House, the state House, and that means they can pretty much do whatever they want, unfortunately. So they're trying to pass even more vouchers. Right now, it's $7,500 per family, per student, I'm assuming. And just think about the logistics of this for a second. So they're assuming that there's people in public school that would like to be in private school, but the only hurdle is that $7,500 stipend, right? Most private schools are $15,000 and $20,000 anyways. So that's not going to cover the full cost of it. So what this is a rebate for rich folks in Tennessee. They can already afford private school. They're already paying for it. Now they're getting $7,500 per kid back. It's absurd. It doesn't benefit any of the constituents of my district, and I'm adamantly opposed to it.
Is there evidence? Like, I don't know. I haven't looked for myself, but have you seen evidence of affluential people actually benefiting from it, and it's not going to?
They also are very closed door about the numbers, but it recently came out that they had reserved, and I'm going to speak out of turn on this, so don't quote me, but I think half of these scholarships were reserved for people making less than $100,000 a year, right? Which is 90% of Tennessee. I mean,
right.
So right there, they tell you where their loyalties are, right? So you already know that half of these are going to go to folks making more than six figures already that don't need a rebate. I mean, meanwhile, we're closing hospitals. Our public schools are falling apart at the seams. We have this coffer of money. We choose to spend it on private school vouchers. We have the money. We don't have the values. And that's unfortunate. And if they keep messing around, then I'll run for state house and get in there and change that too.
So that leads to my next question. Why did you think you could make a bigger impact for your neighborhood, your state, the country, as a congressional representative as opposed to a state representative? Why did you think your impact would be bigger on the federal level?
Excellent question. And just to clarify, I have worked for state government, both as a Tennessee State Park Ranger and as a Veteran Service Coordinator, and I've worked for the federal government, right, as Presidential Management Fellow. So I've spent many years in both houses there. For me, I want to be in the same room as President Trump, and I want to look him in the eye, and I want to tell him all the things that everyone that I know wants to tell him. It was absurd to me, the lack of accountability. I kept waiting for the adult to show up, and no one ever did. And I was speaking with some of the folks that I work with, and I said, I'm going to run for Congress, half joking. And they're like, oh my God, please. And I was like, I'm serious. I think I'm going to. And they're like, you absolutely should. I'm like, okay, yeah, okay, here we go. I never thought, I don't view myself as a politician because I have a very negative view of politicians because my whole life I've been lied to and manipulated by people with an agenda. And you're just going to have to trust me. I don't have an agenda. My agenda is the people of Tennessee's 6th Congressional District and representing them to the best of my ability.
For me, veterans who are running for seats, whether it's state or congressional, already get a check mark for me. Because for me, you had already said, I'm willing to put my life on the line for the American people. So you guys already get a check mark. One. Right. I got a long list now, but you already got one check mark.
That's not bad, right?
Right. So let's talk a little bit about accountability.
Sure. Okay.
We talked about affordability. We talked about accessibility. Now we're going to talk about accountability. Now, some advocates, and this to your point that you've been lied to over and over again by politicians, right? Some advocates have argued that Congress should dramatically scale back funding for ICE and the Department of Homeland Security to ensure reforms cannot be sidestepped. Do you support reducing funding to these agencies as a way to force accountability and immigration reform, or do you believe changes should come through oversight and policy reforms while maintaining current funding levels?
No, take that money. Take that money. We need immigration and custom enforcement. Okay. That's a fact. We have two borders, right? And they are open borders, essentially. We need immigration enforcement, but we do not need what we currently have. And there, no reform, no amount of training is going to change that. We need to abolish the current ICE as we know it and starts fresh. And I say that as someone that's worked in the federal government, knowing full well what it would take to abolish a department like this. Mm-hmm. We do need border security, but we do not need what people get murdered in the streets, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, how quickly we forget. Absolutely, I support defunding ICE completely. And the Department of Homeland Security. When I was a federal employee, I worked alongside the Department of Homeland Security. And there were a lot of professionals there, but not any longer. And it's a shell of what it formerly was.
Absolutely. Tennessee has been one of the states that this administration has set its sights on.
That's right.
Fixing, and I put that in quotes, fixing. How is the accountability level going for that in Tennessee? Is the governor in on this? Are they putting some standards up of how people can, whether it's the National Guard, whether it's ICE, whether it's whoever?
Sure.
Are they putting some standards on these on this policing?
So there's a lot going on in Memphis right now, and if you know anything about Tennessee, you know Memphis is one of the more urban areas, but there is a lot of crime and a lot of chaos in Memphis. We don't need the National Guard coming in. We don't need federal oversight to solve state problems. And you're right, Tennessee, for whatever reason, has been sort of the test case. I cringe thinking that Stephen Miller is in the same state that I'm in because he is such a vile human being. But I've heard that he's met with our Governor Lee, many times, and Speaker Sexton. And again, I live in Crossville, Tennessee. Speaker Sexton, Cameron Sexton, claims to live in Crossville, Tennessee. He lives in Nashville. His kids go to school in Nashville. He has a house in Nashville. He gets paid for living in Crossville. He gets per diem. He gets mileage. He gets more money per day. Right? Again, like, we have the money, we don't have the values. So, using a public venue like this to call out that is the best that we can do at this point, because there's a lot of road signs here in Tennessee, the most conservative legislature in America, and that scares the hell out of me. But I'm still going to fight the good fight.
Absolutely. Now, Johnny said that Tennessee wants to make it legal to deny happy marriages, GAY, right? GAY marriages. How will you combat this? Now, this is sounding more like a state issue, but I mean, it can be combated at the federal level. How will you do that?
Legalize gay marriage federally, right? And legalize marijuana federally. It's simple decisions. But just to speak on that a little bit, I'm an ordained minister because my sister and her partner, the church that they wanted to marry in Tennessee, wouldn't allow them to get married in 2026. So I got online it was easier than signing up for a cable service and got ordained as a minister. And I performed their wedding ceremony so they could legally get married. So yeah, happy marriage is. I don't know why folks are so concerned about other people and what they do.
In their homes, yes.
Exactly. I met an older gentleman last week, and he said, "You're a conservative Republican, right?" I said, "No, sir. No, sir. I'm a progressive Democrat." And he said, "Oh, so you're for abortion?"
Right.
I said, "I'm of the opinion I shouldn't have an opinion on abortion as a straight white male because
you have to say AB. They don't. The TikTok don't like that whole word.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry.
So we typically say AB. Mm-hmm.
Okay, my bad. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So AB. I can't get one. I shouldn't have an opinion on it. Right. It's absurd that I should tell another person what they can and cannot do with their own body. And I want to bring that common sense to Washington with me, even though common sense doesn't always apply there.
I don't know why that's so hard to understand. I really don't. When men, hunker down on that idea, it just tells me you want control. Because again, as you said, this does not affect you in no way, shape, or form.
That's right. Just like happy marriage, right? Like my sister's happier than she's ever been in her life. She was married to a man before, right? And she wasn't near as happy as she is now.
Right.
And that's all that matters to me. And that's all that should matter to anyone. It's simple, like you said.
Absolutely. Now, some reform advocates say Congress should overhaul campaign finance and ethic laws by banning members of Congress from trading individual stocks and preventing them from becoming lobbyists after leaving office. Do you support these reforms, and how would you work to restore public trust in Congress?
Absolutely, I support those reforms. No member of Congress or their family should be actively trading stocks. And that's just the price you pay of being a public servant. No one's forcing you to run for Congress. If you want stocks, stay out of Congress, trade all the stocks you want. But anytime I have a say, right? And perfect example, Strait of Hormuz.
Mm-hmm.
President Trump knew before anyone else when this was going to open, right? When it was going to close. Well, he should have, but anyhow, and you look at the price of oil, right? Right before it spikes, there's huge buys.
Mm-hmm.
That's insider trading.
It is.
Right? That's taking advantage of a public position for personal gain. And that should be illegal. That should be illegal.
It is.
So yeah. right. For good reason.
But nothing's being done about it is the problem.
And nothing's being done. Yeah, that's right. And that's the frustrating thing.
Yeah, so that's my question to you is what is the answer? How do we make the seat of presidency just as accountable and liable for breaking the law? How do we do that?
That's right. And it's such an absurd question, right? But again, here we are. The man in the White House has 34 felony accounts. Felonies. When I was a state park ranger, I was also law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
So I know the difference between a misdemeanor, which is what most folks get, and a felony. Felony, you're going to prison. 34 felonies, you're going to prison for a long time. And again, with our justice system being run by the current administration, our checks and balances have flown out the window. And Congress has proactively been complicit with this president and this administration. And I can promise you that will not be me. I will be the opposite of proactively complicit. I will be a thorn in the side of everything they want to do.
Absolutely. I think I had one more. What episode?
Ray Mack, green plants, all about legalizing, and I cannot stand private prisons. I would definitely be for abolishing private prisons.
Okay, so this question is talking about. I was trying to make sure we didn't go over it already, but many critics argue that the Supreme Court's decision in Citizens United versus FEC dramatically increased the influence of money in politics by allowing unlimited independent political spreading by corporations, or spending by corporations and outside groups. Do you support efforts to overturn this decision, either through new legislation or a constitutional amendment? What steps would you take in Congress to reduce the influence of big money in elections? And I want to take this one step further. Answer that, but also tell me, what do you think about this current Supreme Court?
Sure. Yeah. So overturning Citizens United is one of my biggest goals. And for those that don't know, that ruling made it to where corporations have the same freedom of speech that you and I do, right? And because of the First Amendment. And part of that freedom of speech is they can donate money to whomever they would like. I mean, it's a ridiculous ruling. It opens up just manipulation and coercion in an already coercive and manipulative field. Anytime you can. So just something I learned as I'm running, an individual can donate $3,500 to a candidate per election, right? So my primary is in August, and then when I win the primary, my general will be in November. But if you wanted to max out your donation to my campaign, it's $3,500, which is a lot, but it's not $1 million, right? So here I am, a grassroots candidate, appealing to the mass audience as much as possible, trying to get as many donations. Realistically, I'm getting $6, $10, $50, right? And I know the value of $1. I grew up with a single mom, so when I ask folks for money, I know what I'm asking. Mm-hmm. It's and my opponent, my Republican opponent, they're already going to have $1 million in the coffer. President Trump is going to endorse them, and they're going to have all those resources. So I'm going to have my voice, this venue, all these social media platforms, and I'm going to be as vocal as I possibly can and transparent as I can. My integrity is not for sale. My campaign is not for sale. Absolutely. This current Supreme Court, one of the most corrupt courts that we've ever had. And absurdly so. When we spoke about term limits earlier, my idea is to have an 18-year term as a Supreme Court that would stagger every 2 years, right? So every 2 years, someone would be coming off the court and someone new would be coming on. So you wouldn't get stuck with what we have now, right? If you look at Roe versus Wade, right? Why they would ever revisit that to begin with is absurd. But they did, right? Yep. And that's where we are. So.
Thank you, Ray Mack. She said, one last question. Funds going to the I country.
Oh yeah. No, terrible. 100% against.
We want to stop that.
Yeah.
But everyone said, but they're our allies. We've been funding them forever. Why stop now?
Yeah. What have you done for me lately? Right. Canada is our ally. Mexico is our ally.
And we're currently trying to boom them. So
that's right. Yeah. Yeah. We have abandoned our allies except for the one, right? And I have to assume that they have blackmail on a lot of folks. I mean, there's an agenda there, and it's not. Our president is not acting on their behalf because of his deeply held religious beliefs, right? he's being paid or reimbursed somehow, right? He has an agenda, obviously. The support for that country is quite staggering, honestly. I've came out publicly to vow to not take any APAC money already, because again, I'm not for sale. But the amount of APAC money in politics is way too much.
But Mike, since we're talking about accountability, I often say this to people that, you know, you're not there yet. You're not in Congress. Right. So, you know, APAC and the big corporations are not coming after you, offering you all this money at this time. Sure, but if you get there, what will keep you from falling into that trap?
The 10 Commandments? No, just joking. My integrity and my position, right? I'm a representative, and when I said it earlier, I demand my constituents hold me accountable. You'll know where my money is. I'm gonna be very transparent about what donations I get and who tries to lobby me. I think that's where a lot of congressmen and women, they should take advantage of that, right? You have this mass audience. I want to know who's trying to lobby you and for what reason. We talked about green plants or, you know, legalization of Mary Jane, right? Tennessee's got a huge liquor lobby, and they have an agenda, and they don't want any recreational or medicinal anything in the state. In fact, they've proactively said already, even if it's legalized on a federal level, Tennessee's not going to recognize it. That's how absurd we are. It's absurd. Yeah. Even if they change the schedule, Tennessee's not going to recognize it. Which again, just tells me where our priorities lie. So I would use my platform to call that out. So-and-so from BP tried to offer me $50,000 to vote this way. This is what it happens on the floor of Congress. And again, I'm not going to be making a lot of friends there, but I'm going to win the loyalty of my constituents, and that's all that matters to me.
Well, Mr. Mike, I pray that you and more people like you that actually do have some integrity actually fill up the 120th class of Congress this year.
Yes, ma'am.
Next year. Because that is truly what we need in order to get our country back on track, to heading to some semblance of great.
Right.
My next topic is something that is happening right now all across the news. It has been huge this year, and that is gerrymandering. Okay, we know what happened yesterday. Virginia put it to a vote for the people.
That's right.
And the people said yes.
That's right.
And today, the legislature is trying to negate what the people said.
Oh, I haven't heard this yet. Yeah.
Yes, they have filed an appeal, and the judge has, gave his ruling on it. It is, I think, like held up for now.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
I get it. I understand. I would understand that if some lawmakers said, we're just going to use this new map, and then you go to the courts and say, hey, that's not fair, blah blah blah.
Right.
But no, they literally took it to the people, and you're going to tell the people what you just voted for don't even matter. We don't care.
We're a democracy, just not right now.
It doesn't make sense. So
yeah,
Tennessee. Go ahead.
We are horribly gerrymandered, Tennessee. And I mentioned it earlier. They split Davidson County into 3 separate pieces, 3 different congressional districts, because it was a Democratic stronghold. And they didn't want, the state seat to be Democratic, because they want to be the most conservative legislature in America. I have mixed feelings on how we should break up the territories, but I would prefer an independent entity do it, right? Simple. Base it on population, base it on, counties,
Y'all
whatever.
building all
Make it
these
make
data centers. Let
sense.
AI do it. I mean, what?
Absolutely. This is an easy problem to solve, but they don't want to solve it because it benefits them to gerrymander, right? And I mean, literally, my territory goes along the interstate until it gets to Mount Juliet, which is a fairly progressive town in Wilson County, and it jumps over it and then continues on. Tell me it's not intentional. It's
What?
absolutely yes. The 6th district is almost a perfect rectangle, except for that bump around that. Yeah, it's insane.
Hold on, let me. This here. Let me see if I can. Hold on. Okay, so this is Louisiana's
Look at
2nd
that.
district,
Yeah.
and it is a majority black district. And it was kind of like they just like went straight up the middle and grabbed all
Yeah.
the black neighborhoods and just put it in one district. Now,
Yeah.
this is where I battle or with myself about the whole gerrymandering thing, right?
Right.
Because there are people who say this is good because at least black folks are getting representation. But in my opinion, it boxes us in.
Yeah.
Like whatever the needs of the people that's like in Baton Rouge area is not the same needs of the people that's in the Shreveport area. And this is literally going from Baton Rouge all the way up to Shreveport.
Yeah. That's insane.
I am, Ayana. This is crazy.
That's insane. Yeah.
Like you literally go across 50
It's
counties.
just right across the middle.
It doesn't make sense.
I mean, if you need an advantage for your party, then you don't have a strong party, right? If you need that gerrymandered advantage, then you need to reconsider your stance, your platform. I mean, if you can't win based on the rules, then you don't deserve to win.
Exactly, and this administration got people thinking that we're the ones who's cheating.
Oh my gosh! And you'll notice every accusation from them is a confession. And once you realize that, they confess to a lot of things. I mean, they confess to a lot of things.
Yes. Now, for me only, that wasn't what was blue and what was red, because it probably been absolutely flipped. That the middle strip is blue and the rest of it is red.
Right.
That's really how it is. It was just showing that was the district.
Yeah.
The District 2 that they had.
But that shape doesn't make any sense, right? I mean, you're targeting people by making that shape. Make it a square, right? Make it a rectangle. I mean, make it by the counties. That shape is irrelevant. That shows they have an agenda.
Like I said, I hear you, Ayana. This is why I struggle with it. Is because I understand why it needed to happen. I just don't like that it had to happen. That's all I'm saying.
Sure. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Thanks, Ayana. I didn't know that.
Yep. So Tennessee has faced criticism for heavily partisan redistricting that can dilute voters' influence. How would you approach reforming the redistricting process to make it fair and well, I think you just told us that that you would try to have an independent source do that, and that would be
I think that's the easiest way. I mean, and if it involves 4 Democrats, 4 Republicans doing it, I mean, again, this shouldn't be an advantage one way or another. If it's capturing people's voices, like Ayana says, yeah, okay, I see that. I see that. Mm-hmm. But if we just do it objectively across the board, then it should be as fair as possible.
Absolutely. All right, so we're going to go into our second rapid fire.
Let's do it.
Okay. And this one's a little more fun. So, hiking or biking?
Hiking, 100%.
Ice cream or sherbet?
Ice cream.
Okay. What's better homemade? Pizza, tacos, or burgers?
Burgers.
You would say burgers? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a taco. I love me some homemade tacos.
Oh yeah, I do like homemade tacos. I'm talking about like the ones you get from McDonald's, the burgers that are like,
yeah,
like a couple centimeters. Like, I would much rather make a burger at home than
at home. Exactly, will be nice and thick, full of onions.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Would you rather grant wishes or receive wishes?
What a great question. I would rather grant wishes.
Okay, that's a test to people's empathy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that would be amazing to just make anything for folks happen.
So, which king are you picking? BB King or Elvis?
Ooh. I'm gonna go with BB King.
Okay. Are we going to Opryland or Dolly's World?
Dollywood. Yeah,
Dollywood.
Sure.
That's what I meant to say. Dollywood.
Yeah.
Your favorite Tennessee landmark?
Oh wow. Fall Creek Falls.
What? Say that one more time.
It's a state park, Fall Creek Falls. It's 270 something feet, and I was able to rappel off of it as a state park ranger. It's one of the scariest things I've ever done, but yeah, it's my favorite landmark. It's natural. It's gorgeous.
It's a waterfall.
It's a waterfall. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
In Tennessee?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I would have never thought.
Yeah, we got crazy waterfalls in Tennessee. Yeah.
Oh good.
Yeah.
Favorite thing to barbecue?
Oh, chicken. Yeah.
Yeah, you from Tennessee.
Yeah.
I didn't ask some Texans and some other Southern people, and they like, oh, where the ribs and the steaks and the the briskets. You said chicken.
Yeah.
It's okay. That's okay. Now, let's just do a couple of questions about the future. You talked about empowering working families and supporting small businesses. What specific incentives would you prioritize to ensure long-term economic growth and opportunity for District 6?
Yeah, sorry, the camera flipped on me a little bit.
It did. They moved you.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so having good jobs here is such a priority for me. And with that being said, it's not an easy fix. So I definitely want to prioritize bringing federal money in, but I want to subsidize programs as much as possible. Sort of take what they're doing with the school voucher scam here and make it for the common person, right? So subsidize college or trade schools. I said my wife works in the public school system here. A lot of these kids, that's their only meal. So, and that's where I said there's not an easy answer because this stuff starts at home and it starts from a young age. So bringing federal money in, making sure that we take full advantage of federal subsidies as much as possible. And again, I mean, we have the money, we need the values.
Absolutely. Well, one of our favorites around here. We can't do this thing without her either. Miss Ayana. She's come up to ask the question.
Oh, beautiful.
Hello, ButterMel. Hello, Michael.
Hello.
Michael, you stood me up last week. Listen,
So sorry.
I put on a nice blouse.
Oh.
I put on makeup. I made it nice.
My apologies.
But it's okay.
Oh, thank you, ButterMel. Anyway, Michael, it's Earth Day. Did you know that?
I did know that.
It's Earth Day, and a certain person who is the current administrator of the United States doesn't believe in climate change and is trying to take money away from environmental projects that are very much needed to improve, the national parks, our waterways, water basin, coastline, et cetera, et cetera. What
Yes, ma'am.
federal investments do you see that are needed in your district? I know you mentioned some waterfalls. You mentioned you were a park ranger. I know there's some national park areas in your district, right?
There are. Yep.
Where do you see that need? And do you think it will be an easy win for you? Or do you think you'll have to do like I saw one senator having to do, one congressman, and rather having to do congressional hearings, trying to get money for some kind of waterway. And she
Sure.
said that people were calling her every single day, crying about it. And I'm like,
Oh,
why do you
yeah.
have to go
Yeah.
through all of this? Why do you
That's
have to go
right.
through this?
No, Ayana, that's such a great question. I don't know that you know this or not, but when I was a federal employee, I worked for NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.
Yes, you know how I know? Because I was so prepared for last week.
Right.
So I was going to ask you about that because I work for the Fed too. I was like,
Oh, beautiful.
we're going to bond
So-
over this. We're going to bond. And we didn't, but it's okay.
That's right.
It's okay.
But I was paid through Inflation Reduction Act funds. And the Climate Resilience Regional Challenge, the grant program that I worked on, was funded through Inflation Reduction Act funds. And when you say that this current administration has taken those away, you hit the nail on the head. The last 3 months on the job for me, I was allocating that money as quickly as possible because I wanted it to get in the hands of these awardees because the administration was actively taking it away.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm a conservationist, obviously as a state park ranger. And today is Earth Day. My birthday was 2 days ago. So my birthday and Earth Day have always been,
Look at you, as old as Earth. Oh, no, I'm kidding.
Right.
Kidding, Mike. Kidding.
But yeah, it's a huge priority of mine, protecting our state parks and national parks and our waterways. I'm an environmental engineer. We have a situation in Tennessee here. I mentioned Scott County and how beautiful it is. Someone's trying to put a landfill in there.
Oh.
And it's going to leach into the waterways here. It's terrible for everyone. So they're actively fighting it in the state house. And I saw yesterday where they were able to overturn it. So that's not going to happen, luckily. But it's a very real problem. And with AI data centers and the scourge on the environment already with climate change, we have work to do just to get back to where we were. Clean air, clean water, clean
That
earth.
used to be so important. That used to be
Yeah.
so important. What has happened?
And it used to be such a priority and so important, and now people don't even believe it.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's.
They don't even believe it.
I mean, I don't know what to say to that, but yeah, they don't think that that climate
Hence
change is real.
hence your job being dozed.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
they believe that we have this infinite amount of water, we have this infinite amount of space.
Yeah.
Like the air, the air will clean itself, right?
That's
Everything
right,
will
yeah.
just clean
Yeah.
itself. The fish will eat
It's
the
been
bacteria
fine
from
so
the water.
far.
It's
Right.
it's bizarre, but it seems like these environmental things are not given a priority. But then you look around you, and like we're in Ohio. I'm in Ohio. We're experiencing more tornadoes than ever,
That's right.
and
That's
you're
right.
experiencing flooding more than ever.
That's
Like
right.
these things are getting worse; they're not getting better. So
The tornado belt is actively shifting east and northeast. right?
Exactly.
And that's directly from climate change, and we know this empirically. That's not a guess. That's fact. I working for NOAA under this administration was so odd. And the reason that NOAA survived the first Trump administration is because we are hidden under the Department of Commerce. I mean, you would never think that NOAA would be under Department of Commerce, but we are. And he didn't know that. He didn't know that the first time. You all remember the Sharpie Gate, right? Where he tried to.
Oh my gosh.
If he knew where NOAA was, he would have fired a lot of people, but he couldn't find us. But the second time, he came in running. They knew. He knew exactly what he could and couldn't do.
I'm very scared, but I'm glad that there are environmentalists, scientists who are running for office. We need those people as well as we need people who were teachers, people who were everyday working
That's right.
Americans who are in the trenches. We need those people. So I'm glad you're running for office, Mike. Even if you did
thank
stand
you.
me up. Even if you did
Yes.
stand me
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
First time I've ever been stood up for a date, Mike. Thanks.
That's a lie, but thank you.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye. Yes, this is Miss Ayana. She is one of our moderators here with OVC. We absolutely
I
love
love
her.
it.
She was scheduled to do your town hall the other day, but
Yeah.
instead you needed to be with me.
It worked out. It worked out.
So my last question about the future. Voter engagement and trust in government are critical for the district's future.
Mm.
How would you strengthen democracy locally and ensure residents feel represented and heard?
Yeah, that's a great question. And in Tennessee, we're not a red or a blue state. We're a non-voting state.
Mm.
We are notoriously terrible at voter turnout. In fact, if not voting was a candidate, it would win every time. So, and I think part of that is we haven't had a candidate to get excited about in so long. One of the reasons I wanted to run is because I was so tired of choosing between the lesser of two evils, right? And I wasn't a big Hillary Clinton fan, to be honest with you. I was a Bernie Sanders fan, and I felt let down by the party, and I wasn't excited to vote for Hillary Clinton. I didn't want to put a Hillary Clinton sticker on my car.
Right.
I wasn't super excited to vote for Joe Biden. I did vote for Joe Biden, and I'm so glad that he won, but I wasn't excited. I didn't want to urge my friends to vote for Joe. Oh, I did because I wanted to save the country, but
Right.
it wasn't because I really,
wasn't like
really
Barack.
liked Joe Biden. Exactly. And to not to sound arrogant, but I want folks to get excited about me running because I'm not a typical candidate. I don't have an agenda. I'm not being paid by PACs. My agenda, my loyalty lies with them, and I think that that's going to come through and resonate with people. So I'm hoping to get folks excited and give them a reason to want to vote. And and me being I'm in a very rural county. When I go to vote, I know that the person in front of me is going to cancel my vote, and the person behind me is going to add one more to the other side, right? But I still show up and vote, even if there's no one on the ballot. Which, unfortunately, there's not a lot of Democrats running here. I still pull a ballot, still fill it out because I want them to know that my voice counts, right? Obviously.
I want you to have a little more confidence that the person in front may still vote red, but you convince that person behind you
That's right.
to
That's
vote
right.
blue.
Yeah.
Okay?
All right. I like that. Yeah.
That's how I want you to have that mentality. You
Okay,
convince
I
the
love it.
person behind you to vote blue
That's right.
because they was excited that
That's right.
there was someone in this race who actually spoke for them, that actually could relate to them, that actually had their best interests at heart. And so
love
they
it.
said, I'm going to vote Mike Crowley.
That's right.
I appreciate this. I'm so glad I got to do your town hall, even though I know you would have had just as much fun with Miss Ayana. She does
course.
great town halls too. Let's end this with one of our closing questions. Looking ahead 10 years,
Mm.
what does success look like for Tennessee's 6th District? And how would your leadership help make this vision a reality?
Yeah, perfect. So we're the state of TVA, right? I want to be energy independent, and we do that through renewable energy. And that's my background. I worked as a consultant with the TVA on renewable energy projects. It needs to be a priority, and it's a priority for me, and it's something I'm going to bring back with me from Washington. We still have coal mines here.
Mm.
I mean, we literally have people, my cousins they live in Kentucky, they are coal miners. And so this is coal country, and it's deeply established. So when you talk about renewable energy, that really turns people the wrong way. They complain about windmills. I don't understand it, but it's a priority for me. So good jobs, renewable energy, and universal basic health care would be amazing.
Absolutely. And hopefully the 120th class, which you should be a part of, will be the ones to do it.
That's right. That's right.
That's what I'm hoping on. Again, I thank you all for being here tonight with me and Mike. It has been a pleasure. I appreciate all of the audience questions and participation. Isn't that funny? And like I said, we definitely need more candidates like you that are coming there with good intentions. Please tell the people how they can find you, all your socials, and how they can donate and support you.
Yeah, perfect. It's crowleyforcongress.com is my website. And that's all my socials. I think Crowley for Congress is my Facebook also. And my last name is spelled Croley. It's not the normal spelling, but my line is I'm going to save the W for November, right? So Croley. You can sign up for my newsletter. You can donate to the website, and every vote counts. Every dollar counts.
Now, why you let me call you McCrawley all this time? It's Crowley with the cat with the long O.
That's right. I've been called so many different names. Corley, Conley, but Crowley.
It's Mr. Crowley, y'all. Okay,
That's
we
right.
got it. We got it. Well, again, I thank you so much for joining us tonight. And I appreciate you coming to Our Vote Counts. Now we have more. We booked. We are making sure all the voices that need to be heard are getting heard. So we have another town hall coming up, people. Tomorrow we have 2. One is with Sherman Hardy, who is running for, this might be right out of my district, but because I think I'm District 7. But he is running for Prince George's County, Maryland, county council for District 9 in Prince George's County, Maryland. So if you know someone from PG County, tell them to come on in. Listen to Mr. Sherman Hardy. I'm going to be listening real hard. Matter of fact, I think I'm supposed to be doing that show. And then we have someone else running for a state house seat from out of Indiana. And that is District 16 with Mr. Ashley Hammock. So Ashley Hammock at 8 o'clock tomorrow, running for a house seat in Indiana, District 16. And at 6 p.m., we have a county councilman running for county councilman, Sherman Hardy. So again, we are featuring people from all facets of this political scene. We talking to councilmen, we're talking to state representatives, we're talking to congressional representatives. So if you need it, tell them to come over, talk to us so you can get your answers. I encourage people, if you see a candidate, just DM Our Vote Counts. First, you have to look to make sure they have a TikTok page. So if you know a candidate that's running in your area, just search them in TikTok. If they have one, share that page with Our Vote Counts. We will get in touch with them and we will have them on the show. Hopefully if they answer, and you can get the answers you need. Mike, we finally got you here. We want you here again. We are having our round table this coming Sunday. And the round tables is with other candidates like yourself, where we sit around and talk about the current events going on in our country. We share ideas with each other. We get ideas from each other. Say what's good working with your candidacy, what's not working with their campaign.
Love it.
We may even, I remember one of our round tables, we had to encourage someone to stay in the race. She was getting very discouraged.
Oh no.
And
Yeah.
the rest of the candidates up there was just telling her how she can buckle down and make this through. So I absolutely love our round tables. I would definitely like to invite you to this one coming Sunday. So I hope you can make it. It's at 3:00 on Sunday. So look for that invite in your inbox or email. We may do both.
Will do.
So again, I want to encourage anyone out there listening. If you want to be a part of the solution, Our Vote Count is looking for more moderators. This is what I do. Me and Ayana, we tired. We need a break. So we need more help. Just like the candidates need all the volunteers they could get, so do Our Vote Count. So if you think you can get on camera and have a conversation, DM us. We are ready to help you be a part of the solution. So we appreciate you all. And make sure y'all following us on everything. We have, y'all talking about yes, Lord. We are on Facebook. We are on Threads, Instagram. We are not on the Bird. Because we're not supporting any of them folks over there. We are on YouTube. On YouTube, you could go back and look at old town halls that we've done with other candidates. Mr. Crowley town hall will be uploaded, if not tonight, maybe tomorrow. You can rewatch this one if you like. And if it's someone, you can go through and see, like, hey, that's my district. Watch their town hall. They may give you the answers you need for an informed vote. Let me just remind everyone again of who we are. In case you don't know, again, I will tell you. We are Our Vote Counts, a nonpartisan movement uniting Americans from all walks of life to empower voters, support candidates of integrity like Mike here, and ensure every voice is heard. Through education, outreach, and accountability, we are building a strong democracy, one informed vote at a time. So remember to keep joining us. Bring some people along with you because your vote is your power. Thank you all. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.